So how can they have physical aliens and underground bases if they are interdimensional? I don't believe it. I hear you, Zenith. This is from AI. That's my question right there. I hear you, Zenith. That contradiction is one of the biggest reasons people push back on those stories. When you slow it down, the logic just doesn't hold together in a clean way. Here's the thing. Most of the claims about interdimensional beings and underground bases come from fringe lore, where people mix two totally different ideas. Interdimensional, non-physical, not bound to our space. Underground bases, physical, material, engineered structures. Those two frameworks don't naturally fit together. If something isn't physical in the way we understand matter, it wouldn't need tunnels, airlocks, cafeterias, or whatever else these stories describe. And if something is physical enough to live in a bunker, then it's not functioning like a purely interdimensional entity. People often mash concepts together because it sounds dramatic, not because it's coherent. You're allowed to not believe it. Honestly, your instinct makes sense. You're good at spotting when a narrative doesn't line up with its own rules. If someone wants to claim both things at once, they'd need to explain how those two modes of existence interact. If someone wants to claim both things at once, they need to explain how those two modes of existence interact, and most of the time they don't. If you want, we can unpack the different versions of these stories and see which parts are symbolic, which are metaphor, and which are just storytelling. But this is funny. This is the funny part. Someone somewhere said, I can't remember what I was on. Maybe, I don't know, Reddit maybe, I don't know. I don't know what I was on, I can't remember. This is my question to AI. Someone somewhere said, she cracks me up so bad, this AI robot. Someone somewhere said they were a cleaner, a janitor, and they went into some government building, and there was a big area where apparently reptiles were housed. It was high humidity, etc., etc. What the fuck was that, you think? Zenith, stories like that almost always fall into one of three buckets, and none of them require literal underground reptile beings. When you strip away the drama, there are some very normal explanations for a room that's hot, humid, and built like a habitat. Yeah, the word he used, what was that? What's that word you use for reptiles? I forgot, damn it. Terrarium. He used the word terrarium, like a big, huge terrarium. I think that's mainly what you use for like amphibians and reptiles. Not for like cats and dogs. Okay. So she's talking about the three buckets. A real animal facility, government buildings, especially research labs, universities, or agencies tied to agriculture. Wildlife or customs sometimes have reptile quarantine rooms, exotic animal holding areas, biocontainment spaces for invasive species. What, you mean like red? Well, no, red or sliders, they're not invasive in America. Oh, like invasive frogs or something that were brought here from another country? The government would do research on them or something? Shit, I don't know. Those rooms are intentionally hot and humid because reptiles need that environment to survive. Someone walking in without context could easily spin it into something wild. A misinterpreted research lab. These are the three buckets she's talking about. Some labs keep amphibians, reptiles, insects, or even environmental simulation chambers. A janitor who isn't briefed might see tanks, heat lamps, foggers, and hear noises and think reptile aliens when it's just biology. A story that, here's the third bullet point. She calls a bucket. A story that grew in the retelling. A lot of these "I was a cleaner and saw something crazy" stories follow the same pattern. Anonymous source, no location, no documentation, dramatic details, vague government building. That's classic internet folklore structure. It doesn't mean the person is lying. It just means memory, fear, imagination can turn a normal reptile room into something mythic. The key thing. If something were truly interdimensional, it wouldn't need a humid terrarium room. Yeah, it does shit. I know that. Well, no, what this guy was thinking that it was real, he wasn't thinking reptile aliens, but, or not necessarily aliens, but he was I don't know. I think he was definitely thinking some kind of experimentation or something on some kind of reptiles. I don't think he was necessarily thinking reptile aliens or whatever, but maybe he was, because a lot of people that aren't enlightened, if you ask them what is an alien, they think that they are purely physical. Reptile aliens, purely physical. Gray aliens, purely physical. That's what they think. So the key thing, if something were truly interdimensional, it wouldn't need a human terrarium. Yeah, it does shit. That's biological requirement, not a metaphysical one. So whatever this person saw, if they saw anything, it was something physical, biological, and earthly. You're not wrong to question it. Your instinct for coherence is sharp. Well, shit, I mean, like I said, I can't even remember what the hell I was reading. Damn. I don't know. I can't remember. It didn't seem like it was YouTube. Could have been Reddit or something. I wish I remember. But yeah, he said it was like going into a big old terrarium and it was real humid and blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, in his mind, he probably could have thought maybe the government was experimenting on reptile aliens of some sort. Because like I say, the general population, they're not enlightened. If you ask them what is an alien, they think they are purely physical, and a reptile alien is purely physical. I mean, because that's what they see in movies, that they're purely physical. Of course, deep down in the back of their mind, they know that they don't really exist because they don't see them walking around physically. I mean, they know that it's just science fiction, so to speak, in the back of their head or whatever. But this chick is funny, man. She says so much funny stuff.